The information that I have about Mel is that he is a very renowned business guy in the country. I mean, he ran so many businesses, I guess, like own many companies, and I feel they had some kind of partnership with President Kiir, and that gave him the advantage of actually coming into the political space. But he is, I mean, apart from politics, he's known as a very prominent and a very good businessman in the country, and that is what he is mainly known for. He's known as a business person in the country, and maybe because of their connections with Kiir and the sorts of stuff that actually made him to the presidency. But yeah, Mel is seen. I mean, over the months, he has actually come to the spotlight, a very high positions, being appointed from. I mean, from the advisory role as the presidential special envoy. Envoy on special program, the position that currently occupied by Kiir's daughter. That's the position where I think he started, and later on, he got appointed to the vice president of the Republic of South Sudan, heading the economic cluster, and later promoted to a full general. I mean, these are some of the changes that, some of the promotions that he witnessed within a very short time. But Mel is not, I don't really, in most cases, regard him as a typical politician because he really lacks that. He is a business person. And I feel it is, he actually, at some point, I feel that he tried to bring in his business mindset into a political atmosphere because so many politicians, I mean, many businessmen, they always are profit oriented. They have ambitions, and it's a very different case when you come to political space, right? And over the weeks, we had about tensions that emerged between Kiir and vice president, where the vice president, I think, he started developing some kind of envy and wants to, I mean, have like more powers and even assume to be having powers than the president. And then that's what provoked Kiir to actually invoke uh, his powers to issue the decree. So regarding Mel, is just I know him as a business person. I mean, he's not more of a politician to me, but a business person. So many people, they saw that Mel at some point was going to be, I mean, a heir to the throne. I mean, like Kiir's immediate replacement, and that's what really so many. But I don't think that really President Kiir had the intention of making Benjamin Bol Mel to be his successor. I never saw that. All I saw is that the reason why Kiir was bringing Mel to the position is definitely because they really had a very good working relationship in terms of business, but not in him. I mean, becoming his replacement. But yes, the fall of Mel from his position. When I read about it and I considered the factors that actually led to his downfall or their political divorce, it reminded me of the story of how Lucifer fell. I mean, when he was overthrown, when he saw that he was praised and a very beautiful angel and powerful, he started like developing some kind of envy, and he wants to be God, right? He even went on and then he tried to convince some of the angels to in heaven so they could wage some kind of war against God. And that was the time he was thrown to the earth. And that's exactly how Benjamin Bol Mel actually conducted himself. I think he should have actually understood that serving in that position and in a country like South Sudan, where the position is not constitutionally protected from you, but you only serve at the mercy of the president, he should have understood that you ought to actually exhibit some level of loyalty to the president. But I think that is what he did not exhibit. So and because of that, there are rumors about how he wants to overthrow Kiir and becomes the president, and I think that's what actually led to his downfall so fast and within a very short time. Had he conducted himself very well and exhibited some kind of loyalty to President Kiir, I think his political lifespan in his position would have been actually long. But unfortunately, he didn't do that. He didn't conduct himself in the most rightful way that would have actually made President Kiir to make him serve in that position. Yeah.
This is very interesting because Maybe you could break it down a little bit for us, because I think from what I have read from the decrees, I understand that Benjamin Bol Mel has been relieved of his position as the vice president for the economic cluster. He has been dismissed from his position as the deputy chairman of the SPLM party. He has also been relieved of his duty as a military general to now just a private, ordinary citizen. On top of that, he has been also dismissed from the National Security Service. This. Don't you think this is just a lot of stuff at play here for one to just say this was about disloyalty?
I mean the the level of dismissal. I mean the number of positions that he was dismissed from. That clearly determines the kind of the crime that maybe he has committed. I mean, you can't be demoted from all these positions if you haven't done anything that is wrong. And the kind of disloyalty that I was meaning is that when you're not loyal to someone, of course you want to maybe wage some kind of, I mean, a coup or something against overthrow him. That means you're not loyal to him. So that might be the basis on where, I mean, bringing my disloyalty kind of argument here. But I mean, as you mentioned about all the positions that he was relieved from, this clearly tells us about the amount or the gravity of the disloyalty that he has exhibited to Kir. Perhaps Kir understands very well. There's always a saying that if you want to make a he goat, to actually, if you want the he goat to be sexually dormant, then what you need to do is you need to castrate it, and I feel that is what exactly Kir knows. Being a full general in the army gives Mel a lot of privileges, right? He would have a command at some point of some section of the army. He will have a command over it. That means he can even command the army to do something against someone he doesn't like, or an individual, could be even the president or the other vice president. Being a member of the National Security Service, that gives him a lot of intelligence about the country. Being a party deputy chairperson gives him advantage of serving in different structure of the SPLM party. And these are all privileges that comes with the positions that he served. So relieving him as the vice president of the country, I mean that because the position of the vice president of the country is always related, is coordinated to the first deputy chairperson of the SPLM party. So the moment you are not serving as the vice president, then obviously the moment you serve as the vice president of the country, you likely be appointed as well as the deputy chairperson of the SPLM party. And when you relieve from that, that goes away with you as well. The position of the deputy chairperson of the party and the vice president of the country, they are so much detached. They're all, I mean, they are so much embedded together. So once you get relief from one, then you go away with all. But I feel the reason why he was dismissed from the National Security Council, it is because they want to actually uh, they don't want to give him the privilege of getting about the intelligence of the country. I think that is the main reason, so that he doesn't get information about the intelligence of the country, which is a very, very important sector of the security of the country. And I feel, yeah, relieving him from all this can easily make us understand of the amount of crime or the kind of disloyalty he has exhibited to the president. If at all it wasn't something so huge, perhaps he would only be uh, maybe just a relief from the vice president, but he can still remain a general in the SSPDF, or even a member of the National Security Service, or any very important person in the SPLM party. But he got relief from all these roles. He got dismissed, and worst of all, from full general to a private mayor and an ordinary citizen. That clearly explains to us the amount or the gravity of crime he has committed, or the kind of disloyalty he has exhibited against the president.